I had a lot of encounters with people who could not really figure out which would be the best for their specific needs. So I wanted to give you a brief overview about the available options. So in this case, we go over to the prices, the pricing section really. And as you can see, there are 4 different um, options available. So the free option is obviously great if you have like a few files or folders which you would like to synchronize on various devices, or which you um, just want to outsource from your local device storage to the cloud. And if you have a larger need, then you could go with the solo variation, which is intended for one user. But don't confuse this with one device. There is actually no limit for devices. So if you should be in a setting where you maybe share some folders or files with your spouse, it is very well possible to connect all your shared devices or individual devices with the very same user. And the only real downside you would have is that you can't see who is doing which changes, and that every one of you is seeing all the files and folders on the kDrive. As again, it's only one user, there's no way to differentiate or to adjust the rights for the specific folders and files. So if this is no problem, then there you go. This is a great option which comes at a very good price. I have the Swiss franc prices here as I'm accessing the site from a Swiss IP address, but the pricing in every other country really is roughly the same. For example, if you are in the US, then it would be pretty much the same in US as the Swiss franc, and the US dollar is approximately equally strong. And if you want to really differentiate between all the family members or friends or your business, then I recommend that you go with the team variation. One point is that you have more storage available, but the main focus is on the different user licenses. So you can invite all the other people to the kDrive in question, and you have the possibility to really use your own users. So user A can set up folders which only user A can see, or which are shared with user C but not with user B. And this way you can do really specific setups and shared situations depending on your needs. So that's pretty self-explanatory in this regard. Um, for the Pro variation, I encounter various questions every now and then. The main one is the pricing, because it says from 21 US dollar, again, approximately, depending on the current dollar Swiss franc situation, um, or the yearly fee. And what often is missed, that this is in fact for the 3 users which are the minimum requirement. So when you go for 4 users, it will be like around $7 which are added on top. So keep that in mind, but it's pretty straightforward again. This has obviously the most storage available and can be expanded if needed with storage packages. So you can see down here that you have the possibility to upgrade the storage for Team and for Pro. For Solo, it's not an option. For free, obviously, not as well. And that's that. The coolest thing right now is that you can try even the full version of Solo Team or Pro if you want to for 30 days, which is great, so that you don't have to, yeah, dive into a situation where you don't know what you're going for. So you can check it out and test it as much as you want. And yeah, that's basically it. If there are any questions, leave a comment. I try to get back to you as soon as possible. I will also link my blog as there's more information on kDrive and the specifics if you are wondering. And besides that, I think you should be fine. Um, as I'm talking, I see that we maybe could have a brief look at the features which are here, but if the information is sufficient, perfect. And feel free to leave the video, but if you need more information, I will have a brief discussion about the features stated here. So this is the overview about the main features. So kDrive is um, coming with a desktop application which you can install and set up on Windows, Mac, and Linux. This is possible for all the options. So again, for free for Solo Team and Pro. And you can in all versions select which kDrive folders should be synchronized. You also have an application for iOS and Android, so that's also pretty cool so that you can really synchronize across all your devices. This characteristic is maybe familiar from alternatives like, I don't know, OneDrive, Google Drive, Dropbox, and so on. So for mobile, you also have the option to make the folders or files available for offline situations. So when you have your um, mobile connection cut off, cut off, um, or if you do use in Synology NAS, network attached storage, um, again from Synology or from QNAP, then you can't go with the free version. The reason is that it requires the WebDAV protocol, which is only supported for the paid variations of kDrive, which is the next point basically. So those are related. And if you want to search for files, it's also supported on all the kDrive options available. Searching by the content is exclusively planned for the Pro version. So if this is something you really look forward to, then go with the Pro version. Again, it's the most expensive plan available, but if you keep in mind that it's 6 TB of storage, it's actually still a very good price. Even if you would be the only real user for the kDrive, it's really affordable, especially considering that all the data is hosted in Switzerland exclusively. So data protection is also a super cool thing in this regard. Okay, so the searching for the files is only for the Pro version. The Vault, which is in development, should be coming soon. This is not for the free version, which is fair, I guess. The Dropboxes are basically links you can generate, which you then can provide to people if you want to collect files from them. For example, you give them a share link for a contract PDF and you want the signed copy back from them, then they can hand it in with the Dropbox link so that you get the file directly in the dedicated folder, which is also a more exclusive feature, but it's available for Team, not only Pro. Then the automatic migration from Google Drive, OneDrive, and Dropbox is available for all the plans. So this is a very basic feature, which is quite convenient so that you don't have to manually move around the files from your old provider to Infomaniac's kDrive. And yeah, then let's have a look at share and collaborate. This is again nothing really exclusive for kDrive, but it's very handy to be able to edit files online. So you only access the browser, you connect with your Infomaniac user, go to the kDrive section, and then you are good to go. You can work on all the files you usually work on, like Excel sheets, Word documents, PowerPoint files, and so on. The share links I mentioned earlier, all of them offer the possibility to share files with a link, so that you can send the link to the person in question and they can access it and even download it if you enable this option. Then the controlling and sharing is not available for the free version. That's something you need to keep in mind if you go with this option. And then we have password protection for sharing. For example, if you generate a share link, but you want to make sure that only people who also are aware of the password can open it, then that's the feature you need. Not available with free. Then the links can be for a certain time period only. This is not available for free, like most options, as you can see. Excuse me. And those options are pretty self-explanatory, I think. So the advanced rights to manage are not available for free. Again, those are features like password protection and similar features. And then you have a few differences here in this area as well, which is about backup, transfer, and recovery. All files are redundant because they are kept on 3 different servers at all times. So if there's some outage, you are safe and there's no problem. If you are afraid of geographical events like earthquakes, that's no problem as well, because one of those 3 servers is located in a different data center. So in case of fire or again earthquakes, you are not at risk anyway. And the file version history enables you to recover certain versions of your files if you made some changes which you regret. That's no problem too. You can view the file version history, which is available for either 30, 60, 60, or 120 days, depending on the option, or whatever is exceeded first, 30 versions, 100 versions across the paid versions. So keep that in mind as well. And if you want to transfer data to another user, that's possible for the paid versions, not the free version. So if, for example, if you want to migrate your data to another kDrive or something like this, then that's the important thing to go for. And we can skip this, I think. That's self-explanatory as well. If you have deleted users, then you can still access the data. There's a small explanation here. That's convenient, especially if you work with multiple people, and yeah, nice feature too. The statistics are, in my opinion, not so important, but it's pretty much given in all sections, so no problem there. The free has some limitations, obviously, to give you reason to go for a paid plan, but I mean 15 gigabyte of free storage and a really reliable tool for free, that's not too shabby, I'd say. For people in Europe, GDPR compliance is really important since 2018. The kDrive in itself is GDPR compliant, so you don't have to be bothered in this regard. But what cannot be guaranteed, obviously, is what you do with the tool afterwards. So if you share your user credentials, if you share links of share links of files or folders, then of course it might be that it's not GDPR compliant anymore. Then support via email is given for all the kDrive options. Free has the limitation that it's not in priority, which is fair in my opinion. And support via chat and phone is not given at all. For the paid versions, it's always a given. And again, the prices. So that's really it now. Again, if there are remaining questions, let me know. Leave a comment and I will get back to you. I thank you so much for watching and wish you a great day. Bye-bye.